Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to Moscow region. Now I really am out in the suburbs, not close to Moscow at all, and I thought I'd show you a Russian typical apartment, a panel building. Now a lot of people have commented on other videos that some of the apartment tours that I've done are not typical, so I hope this place is typical enough for you. So let's go, shall we? Now before I head on inside, I thought I'd just take a little bit of a walk around the buildings right here, and you can see kind of on both sides these apartments. Now these really are the absolute Russian typical apartment. This is as typical as they come. I know I'm going to say it a lot in this video because I got a lot of feedback from people. The videos that I've done of different apartments are not typical. Now, where you live in Russia, that can be typical or not. You can actually see here the patching up they've done on the panels here over the years, where they literally just join up. The way they're built, basically, they just bring a crane in and all the panels are prefabricated off site, and then they just craned in one on top of the other, and even the flooring is panel flooring as well, so there's no concrete laying necessary during the construction. So you can see the different types of balconies as well over the years. These would have all been open balconies when they were originally built because it was too costly to put any other finishings on the balcony, and then over the years they've actually gone and put plastic windows with double glazing in. Somebody's still got wooden windows up there. So every floor kind of has a different look. So we're just going to briefly just have a walk around the building just to get an idea of kind of where we are, and then we're going to head on inside shortly. Now just to give you a sneak peek of where we're actually going to go to, this is the apartment here on the 5th level. You can see those plant pots, and they've actually got a antenna for the television there, satellite dish. So they've really got the place set up well. Now the person that I've come to look at this apartment with was telling me kind of lots of stories about this area. She was actually born in the nearby town, and she went to this kindergarten growing up. So how cool is this? Just a walking distance from where you lived, and we can see here a little bit of the building where we're going to eventually go inside. And across the way there's another one. They're pretty much just replicated in all the towns across Russia. So, you know, it's not just a few of these. There would have been hundreds and thousands of them built in the last, 50, 60, 70 years. And just in front of me here's another playground for the kids. There's actually a few of them around here. Again, when these panel buildings were built, they put a lot of emphasis on family living. And, back then, a lot of people didn't have vehicles or ways to get around. The family may work nearby, so they've had some sort of common transport. But literally, if it was maybe a mother with kids and she would stay home, she'd want somewhere for the kids to go. So you'd want playgrounds, and they'd always build them right by these micro districts. You can see the different balcony styles here quite noticeably, how somebody hasn't got one at all. Someone's kind of got a metal one with wood windows, and then someone on that 4th level there's got the plastic double glazed windows. Almost all of the common windows for the apartments now have all been replaced with the plastic windows, really more for heating than anything else. So it's probably difficult from the video to get an idea of how much housing is in this area here. You can kind of see building after building after building, and then all the cars. Pretty much everybody has a parking space, depending on what time of day you come home. But these buildings were replicated throughout the entire Soviet Union, what was the USSR, and now is Russia. And in these sort of micro districts. You know, they could fit a lot of people. They were very inexpensive to build. You know, literally they were put up in a matter of weeks because they were all prefabricated off site. And then you'll see again here, another playground. So all of the apartments that we see just here, they're all built around this kind of central square here, where you've got the park. They fence it in, I don't know why, because the gates aren't on anyway, but I guess the parents want the kids just to stay in a certain area. And there probably was swings a long time ago, but now they've kind of put it into one place in the middle here, and needs a bit of a mow of the lawn, but you know, to get out of the apartment and get down to the garden here, you know, the parents and the kids have somewhere to play. Now from this view, you can actually really see the panels very clearly. You can see the cement middles between each of the panels as they were put in. And over the years, a lot of the windows have been replaced. So now pretty much all the windows are plastic and double glazed, so as to keep it nice and warm. And this is the entrance we've got to go to. Now we're actually going to go up to the top level, to level 5. Now the way to get into most apartments, so you kind of have your typical bunch of keys, but you got one of these kind of magnets that lets you go in. So if you know the actual apartment number, you can press the numbers and call, and they'll let you in from upstairs. But if you've got one of these, open, simple as that, and we can head on inside. So once you come through the outside door, the first thing you're going to see is there's no elevator. 5-level buildings didn't have any elevators, even where they're building them new to this day, they don't. And most people who have bikes and prams, they leave them downstairs. No problems, all the people know each other. You don't have to bring them up and down the stairs then. And over here's some information if you need to call for things like internet, some services for the building. And then as we head on up, all the different floors really do look the same. There's pretty much just that number that differs. And you'll notice that green and white paint. Now there's different stories about why it's green and white. Some people say that the white is for the light and to make it feel brighter, and the green is to detract from the mold. But maybe someone in the comments who's in Russia can let me know. You'll see here, these are the letterboxes, which really most people aren't using a lot in Russia. Mostly it's just for the services like the electricity and the gas bills, and that's about it. So they're not used. You'll also see here, even in the common spaces, it's got central heating. These are the bars here now. It's obviously summertime, so these aren't switched on. And then we've got another 3 more levels to go. Okay, and from level 4, we're almost there, up to level 5. And I've just noticed here, there's actually I guess you'd call it the fire escape up to the roof. And it's completely open. And I see somebody's used it at some point, but I don't know. Would I want to go up there or not? But we've made it to level 5. So on the landing here, there is 3 apartments, 68, 69, and maybe this is 70. I think it is, it's got it written right there. But we're gonna go to apartment number 69. This is actually the electrical box, which is for all of the, it's not even open. It's for the power to the building. So you're able to read the meters for individual apartments. All right, so let's head on inside. Now I want to point out a few things to you that might be unique to this place and very typical for all of Russian Soviet style apartments. And the first thing is this door here. Now this door we've actually got pre-opened, so it's not locked. But what's kind of interesting, this is padded on the outside to keep the warmth inside. And very, very typically in the older style apartments, they've got a double door. So then there's an internal door here that leads us inside so that you're able to keep the warmth in. Now, the one thing that you have to do when you come in a Russian apartment is you've got to take your shoes off. And that's the only polite thing to do. And every apartment in Russia has a tray for winter time. So if you've got snow on your shoes, no problems at all. I'm going to shut the door behind me just to be nice. Now, this apartment in total is 46 square meters. Now, I put some lights on, so it's a little bit easier to walk around. And this is absolutely typical of a Soviet-style apartment. So for anyone who's commenting about my other videos, this is as typical as it gets. Now, the one thing that's important in these style apartments is storage, and having as much storage as you can, and everything's got a place no matter where it is in the apartment. It's somewhere. Now, what's kind of interesting is this apartment's been kind of semi-remodeled from a few different eras. So actually on the ceiling here, they've got like a plastic panel, and then going into the lounge room, what I would call the lounge room, sitting room, family room, they've actually got the stretch ceiling right here. Let's put this nice chandelier light on. Now, I did come for a walk around before filming, so I just got a little bit of an idea of the space and the place. And this is actually really spacious. Very typically, a lot of apartments that you visit in Russia when you go to friends' house or family houses, they'll have a big cabinet either on this wall or on this wall with all of the trinkets, all the glassware, everything. They've got a nice TV up on the wall there. And check this out, it's actually got a imitation fireplace. But for this size room, it's perfect. It's essentially an electric heater and a nice comfy sofa. And there's a nice balcony out here. And I think also every Russian apartment that you visit's got plants. They want to bring the greenery from outside to inside. So any kind of plants that you can get, the better. Now, this balcony on this apartment is not enclosed. Now, the owners told me that they don't want to enclose it. Now, we're up on the 5th level, so this is actually the roof of the apartment kind of above this. And also, prior to about 2 years ago, it didn't even have a roof. It was literally an open balcony completely. And they don't have any plants growing, so now there's some cupboards over here as well where you can put your kind of outside stuff, mostly gardening things. And you can see the nice view here to the other apartments nearby, which we saw a little bit earlier. And again, another storage cupboard on this side right here. And kind of the view out to the other 5-level buildings around us. There is actually a playground just over here. And I can see a lady downstairs doing a little bit of gardening. So these are all common spaces, but a lot of people claim it as their own. The actual other window is actually leading to or from the kitchen. And some people actually modify this to have 2 windows or 2 doors coming out to the balcony. That really depends on the owner. The actual flooring is very nice in here as well. This kind of floating floor, I think is the right word to use. I will kind of close some doors behind me just to be nice. It's really actually very cozy in here. I like this a lot. Does anybody know the story with elephants? If their trunk is up or down, it's a different kind of luck that you get. Let me know in the comments. And actually, in place of where the cabinets were here, they've actually built a wardrobe into the wall here. So this is nice. It's actually nice and modernized. So there is kind of elements of modern and plenty of place for all your clothes. This kind of place really suits 1 person or 2 people. Oh, we found the minibar. Oh, have a look at the stash. There's always a stash in every Russian apartment that you go to. So yeah, there's storage everywhere, cupboards and cupboards. But in these smaller apartments, it's kind of a necessity. So if you kind of were to buy somewhere like this, you know, especially the size it is, if you've come from somewhere bigger and you're downsizing, or maybe you come from a studio and you're upsizing, you're going to gain space and you might lose some space. So this actual place would be considered a 2-room apartment. Now in Russia, they call it 1-room, 2-room, 3-room apartments. And in Australia, for instance, or in England, in America, Canada, all the different countries, you'd call it a 1-bedroom apartment. But a lot of people would have the sofa as a pull-out bed, and then you could actually use it essentially as a bedroom. But this actually has a classic bedroom, again, with nice cabinets built in here. So you do have that definite Soviet feel to the apartment. And then you've got a lot of kind of modern creeping in as well. Oh, and TV up on the wall as well. Nice. And then we can see that kind of view to the balcony here. Oh, I thought that was the kitchen. This is actually the bedroom window. Sorry. I've kind of got that mixed up. I've literally done a bit of a walk around beforehand. Hi, everybody. So, yeah, this kind of corridor here has definitely got that kind of a Soviet feel to it. The shallow, the low roof going into the kitchen and bathroom. So the one thing with this particular place is it's got a separate toilet right here. I didn't look where the switch is. It's on the outside. So this is pretty much as Soviet and as Russian as you can get. This cupboard here is where all the pipes and the water services are coming into the building, and the electrical services as well. And they've got a washing machine built in. How nice is that? That's kind of handy. This is very normal to do that, depending on the space you've got. And then this will be probably, for most people, a very small bathroom. And it doesn't have a bath, which is very normal in a lot of Russian places. But because it's got the separate toilet, you just don't have the space. But these shower units are basically an all-in-one unit that you can buy in most home improvement centers in Russia. And they basically just get plumbed in. They've actually got really nice sort of settings and all that sort of stuff to them. And for this kind of place, it's worked perfect. And you can see how low the ceilings are here. As we go into the kitchen, just got to get the lights right. There we go. This is the kitchen here. So one thing that's important too in most Russian apartments is they've got separate doors everywhere. And that's really for the heating. So this apartment actually has central heating, which is very common in every apartment in Russia. So it's going to be warm in all the rooms. Now it's summertime, so there's no heating on, which you don't need at all. You need really the windows open to get a bit of air through, but this is pretty much as typical as it gets. You get the table right here, and then you've got the TV on the wall, and everything that you need. One thing that I found interesting here, this fridge, now it looks very high up, but what they've done is they've actually got it on a pedestal. So they've got an extra cupboard down here for all their bits and bobs and screws and bolts and everything like that. And I'd say this is probably a new kitchen, or relatively new. Just looking at it, it's got the nice kind of see-through cupboards there. It's really got everything. Have a look at all the appliances here. Microwave, coffee machine. It's got is this the rice cooker, or what do you call these cookers? Another coffee machine, kettle. And this place has gas. Now, a lot of the older Russian apartments, gas was installed, and a lot of the more newer ones now don't have gas because they consider it not as safe or as practical in the new modern apartments. What do you think of the kitchen, everybody? I like the color of the cupboards. It's kind of got that wood look to it. There's lots of lighting too. I notice here there's extra lights here, so you can relax as you like. Yeah, this is This is a really nice place. It's very cozy, I'm going to tell you that. It's very lived in. The people that live here, you know, love this place. They looked after it. Now, the actual person that lives here, this is the great story of this. They actually, the husband helped build this building, and they've lived here over 50 years, 52 years to be precise. And how interesting is that, that the gentleman actually helped build it, and then they moved in here. And so the one thing with panel building, so this is panel, it's not actually brick, it's cement panels that we use for fast construction. And then this wall right here is actually paper. Now, the lady was telling me that it's paper. I'm like, paper? But it's really what's called drywall or plasterboard, depending on where you live. But she called it paper. So, and there's another storage over here. So storage everywhere. Everywhere, literally. So let's head on outside and we'll talk about the apartment, shall we, a little bit more. So as we come to the end of the video, I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you've got to the ending right here. Now, having come down from the 5th level, I'm a little out of breath. I'm not sure if I can handle it without an elevator to and from that 5th floor every day. You got the view, but do you really want the steps? Let me know what you think, everybody, of this Russian typical apartment. Now, this is absolutely what I'm going to call it. This really is. We're really a fair distance from Moscow here as well, so this could be anywhere in Russia, no matter the Far East, the north, the south of Russia. This is exactly what a micro-district looks like with all the apartments around, and especially all of these panel buildings. So yeah, post a comment, let me know what you think. I think I said that. I think I'm dizzy from walking. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. The apartment was very nice. It was very cozy. You know, it would suit one person or a couple living together. Maybe not, maybe a family with kids. But I'm sure growing up, where you'd have children, you could make do. There's room. You had that extra room in this place. Enough place for a separate bedroom almost. So yeah, let me know what you think of where we've seen. Do you want to see more videos like this? Maybe somewhere different? Post in the comments. I have put another video for you to watch right after this one, so you can click another video on the channel that you maybe haven't seen before. Maybe you've not seen some of my other apartment videos. I'll put one of them for you to watch right after this. And I'm off on another adventure. Bye, everybody.